Alright guys, if you missed episode number 1, we are back with episode number 2, where we're halfway through our fuel consumption test on the Toyota LandCruiser V8, the new Series 5 Nissan Patrol Y62 5.6 litre V8 petrol. And for something interesting, we threw in the Ford F250 6.7 litre Power Stroke, and we're doing the fuel consumption test on that. We're all the way up to the top of Mt Hotham. We're now going to turn around, go back down, fill it up, and see how this one compares. So we've got our spec sheet out again, comparing the Nissan and the Toyota LandCruiser with some basic dimensions we went over before when we started this, but now we've matched them up. We've had to convert from inches and feet and pounds to metric. So we've gone through those conversions, and this is what it is. This is a 2019 Ford F250 Platinum Super Duty. It's powered by a 6.7 litre V8 diesel Power Stroke turbo. This thing puts out huge power, 335 kilowatts, and check the torque. We know the torque on these two vehicles is 650 on the LandCruiser, 560 on the Patrol, but this 1,358 Newton meters of torque. That is huge. These numbers are ridiculous. So towing capacities. The GVM on this vehicle, gross vehicle mass, that's without towing, is 4,490, and that's only because it's been downgraded, so you can drive it on a car license. If it was straight out of the factory over to here without downgrading it, there's no actual change physically to the vehicle, it's just a paperwork thing. This would be much heavier, and you would need a truck license to drive it. So 4,490, but the tear weight of this vehicle is actually surprising. We were surprised, and we had to double check it. It is less than 3 tonne. It is 2,930 kilos tear weight. So it can carry 1.5 tonne on board. Now, towing specifications, 4,500 kilos towing capacity, and that's for Australia. It's a lot more in the US. It's something like 16,000 pounds, which is up around 8 tonne. But here in Australia, 4.5 tonne. Downball weight on the ball, 450 kilos. So this is a monster. This is going to be exceptionally exciting to see how this goes up the mountain. It was a last minute thing to do it. We've got the time. We're going to put it in there. Let's go over a couple more things and come back to it. Overall height, 2,070 millimeters, which is obviously taller than the other two vehicles. Overall length, 6.35 meters. So we're talking, you know, 1.2 meters longer than the Patrol, and the Patrol is about 200 mil longer than the LandCruiser. So it is long. The width of this vehicle is 2,032 mil, so it is wider again, but only by about 50 or 70 mil, depending on which vehicle you're looking at here. Some other features of this: side steps deploy out the side there, as you can see. So this is the Platinum Edition. The Platinum Edition is the top of the range edition available here in Australia. It's got 20-inch wheels. Tyre size is 275/65/20. It pretty much has everything: sunroof, cruise control, adaptive cruise, level to level with the Sahara. We've got the van hooked on, we're ready to go. So let's get this F250 up the mountain and back. Look how tall it is. All right, so we're going to do exactly the same thing again. We're going to fill this right to the brim. So this fuel tank is 228 litres. Last time I filled this up, it was around $200.
So what's the towing capacity of this?
About 8 tonne.
8?
8 tonne. Yeah, in the US it's 8 tonne. In Australia it's 4.5.
Okay.
With 450 kilo downball. Guess how many Newton meters of torque it's got?
Oh, I don't want to know.
1,350. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Oh, crazy. That's pretty heavy with the LandCruiser.
Yeah, LandCruiser. Right to the brim. Let's go and pay and get on the road. All right guys, we are on the road. Just left the service station, back up the mountain. Same drill as last time as what we did in the LandCruiser 200. Every car I feel has a purpose. And this one, like, I don't actually have a favorite car because I think they're all so different. Like, I would not take this into the high country. It would probably do it, but I just wouldn't do it. You know, it's too big.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, this car is perfect for what we do in business in every way. We can, you know, tow vans. We can even upgrade our 6.7 to 4 tonne. Yep. So if you upgrade it to 4 tonne, then you need a bigger car than a LandCruiser or a Nissan Patrol. You'll need something like a Ram or a Chev Silverado or an F250, and those cars are becoming more popular in Australia. But we'll talk about the seating position anyway. So this car has so much room to sit in. Like, if I put the seat's not back all the way, if I keep going back, that's it there. So about 2 years ago, Heidi and I went to Miami and we're at the front of this hotel. And we pulled up at the front and there was this F-250, the same as this, but obviously 2 years older. And it was lowered to the ground and it had, you know, when they take the wheel studs off, they put the spikes on the...
Yeah.
It had those on, and the number plate was Shaq, S-H-A-Q.
Yeah, right.
And I said to Heidi, do you reckon that's Shaquille O'Neal's car? And she said, who's Shaquille O'Neal? And I'm like, Heidi, come on. He's a basketballer. He must be about like 6'10" or 7 foot. He's a massive guy. Went in there and there he was, Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah, with a pistol on his pocket.
Really?
Must be for self-defense, yeah.
When the sun rises, when the sun...
So I think this vehicle is definitely suited for towing 100%. The only reason that you probably wouldn't have one of these is for parking.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to go to the supermarket, I try not to take this car because I will probably not get a park. Or I will get a park and it'll stick out the back by about a metre. But apart from that, it's really good all-rounder. But as far as manoeuvrability and all that, it feels fine. Yeah, and you do get used to it.
Yeah.
It definitely feels luxurious to drive.
It helps that you're a tall man.
It does. It's definitely suited for big guys.
Yeah.
But having said that, you can slide the seat forward and up and be very comfortable. Even the pedals move in and out. So you can get the accelerator and the brake pedal exactly where you want them. All right, can you hear the bitumen? It's like squirming underneath the tires. It must be soft. All this heat from today has just softened it right up. I can hear it flicking around back there. We pushed the LandCruiser up. This thing just hauls up it. Look at that. It's accelerating up the hill. If we did a race and timed it with a van on the back, not that we are, but if we did, I'm confident this car would be the winner. All the way up to the top of Mt Hotham. We're now going to turn around, go back down, fill it up, and see how this one compares. There's only one left though, guys. Who's going to have this one? Do you want to go, Hubs?
No, I'll have some cherries.
Man, these flies. Check out the flies up here. It's crazy.
A bit intense.
Very intense. You could eat them. They're everywhere. How many Cokes are left?
One.
Is there only one? Oh, I think we need to... You start it. We'll share it. No? Resistance?
You have it.
Come on, could we be compatible for the camera? Did you hear that? Got the massage seats on. How cool is that? Feels good too. All right, we are back in Bright. Fill up again. So let's check it out and see how much it used. This will be interesting. Now we can't look at that yet. Big reveal is coming. Oop, it's getting there. I think that's pretty close, guys. Yeah, see it dripping down underneath. That is full to the brim again. I can see the number here. Let's go and get the receipt, head back to the base camp and see what the result is. I want to know what the results are. Let's go and work it out. So, recapping here. Today we've had a big day. This morning we took the LandCruiser 200 towing the Alex V 4.7 all the way from Bright to Harriettville, then 1,500 metre elevation gain right to the top of Mt Hotham. We turned around, we came all the way back down to Bright at the same service station. We fueled it right up to the very neck of the nozzle, and the LandCruiser 200 averaged on that trip of 108 kilometres, 21.69 litres per 100k. Then we came back, we had some time up our sleeve, so we decided that we'd use the work truck for a bit of fun, the Ford F250 6.7 litre power stroke, huge engine, 1,358 Newton meters of torque, and the results are in the Ford F250 6.7 litre V8 diesel power stroke averaged, and this one was 21.69 litres per 100, the LandCruiser. This one averaged 23.69 litres per 100k. So only marginally more did it use, hardly anything, just an extra 2 litres per 100k. So that is a great result for this big beast. It's a monster of a truck, Ford F250. That being said and all done, these two vehicles are behind us now. Tomorrow morning we're going to wake up nice and fresh. We're going to do the whole trip again in the Nissan Patrol Series 5 Y62 5.6 litre V8 petrol, and I'm excited to see how that goes compared to these two diesels. Guys, it is the last day. We're here in Bryant. This is it. This is a big one, the one we've all been waiting for, the Nissan Patrol V8 Petrol Series 5. Let's get this thing up the mountain all the way to Hotham and see how it goes. I cannot wait to drive it. Full to the brim. Let's get moving.
Action.
All right. So we are in the Nissan Patrol, the V8 petrol, 5.6 litre. Straight away, when I pulled out of the service station, I noticed how much smoother the power was.
Like consistent.
Yeah, it was just smooth. This car feels really smooth, and I like that. So power-wise, look, to be honest, so it's got 300 kilowatts, 560 Newton meters of torque, where the LandCruiser has 650, so it has more torque, more Newton meters of torque. But like, we're in the 80 zone now. It feels good. The motor feels smooth. It'd be interesting to know how this does perform on the fuel consumption test. Seating-wise, like usual position for me, seat down all the way, back all the way, so that's as far back as it goes. I feel a little bit more upright. How do you feel sitting there?
Yeah, it feels straighter, and the seats are pretty comfortable.
Yeah,
so.
I feel like in the LandCruiser I'm kind of in the vehicle, and this one it feels like it's quite comfortable. Just vision all the way around feels really good too.
Yeah, it's quite open.
Yeah, I'm comfortable, and head height. I thought about this earlier. Because the LandCruiser's got a sunroof.
Yep.
Obviously the head height's a little bit lower. So if we had a V8 diesel like a GXL with no sunroof, I probably wouldn't have an issue with head height at all in that vehicle.
Yep.
And in this, obviously, no issue with head height at all. So let's get this up. We're in the 100 zone. Let's feel that. That feels pretty smooth. That's straight to 100. That was like, it feels like it's quicker. Without timing it, you wouldn't know, but we're doing 100 kilometers an hour, and it's sitting on. I'm putting the cruise control on. 1,800 revs. Towing the 2-ton van. So this vehicle, just a quick recap.
Yep.
This vehicle is 215 millimeters longer than the LandCruiser. It is 50 millimeters wider, but it is lighter. And I'm wondering how it got lighter, thinner materials. But the biggest thing I think is the LandCruiser has a live axle in the back, where this has independent all the way around, front and rear. That's Heidi in the back there talking to us. Yeah, we'll talk to you when we're ready. We're just filming. What we're talking about, the weight.
Weight.
So I think maybe, that live axle's probably pretty heavy.
Yep.
And there's not much difference in the weight. What was it again? I'd have to go back and check. But 2,708 versus 2,740. So that's probably it.
Yeah.
You know, that's only, what, 30 kilos or so.
Yep.
So it's probably that, because this is physically a bigger vehicle.
Yep.
But look at this now, it does feel smooth. I'm quite impressed with the way it drives. And the van on the back feels light on this vehicle.
Yep. Probably not as light as the 250 though.
No. No. The 250 you wouldn't even know it was there.
Yeah.
But look, it does feel light. It really does. And the van is the same width as the vehicle, so we can use the standard mirrors. We don't need tow mirrors. Both of these vehicles in the test, by the way, are completely stock out of the factory. We haven't done anything to them apart from putting a brake controller in them.
Yep.
And a man's plug to charge our vans while we're driving. That's it. So there's no suspension modifications, no bull bars, winches, no added weight. And I think that's a great way to test them. Head to head.
Head to head.
Head to head. The chicken crossing the road. McLaren. Harder. But that's really sucking fuel now. This is the same hill we went up before in the LandCruiser and I had it flat to the floor. Check this out, this has got loads of power. I've got to slow down for the corners. Again for the third time at Mt Hotham. The Nissan Patrol, the final test, all the way up, cruise up, no dramas. We're going to do a U-turn, head back down and fill it back up and get the results. What a trip. 3 times. This is going to be awesome. Ooh. That's it. That's full to the brim. Let's go get the receipt. I haven't worked it out exactly to the litres per 100. We'll go back to the base camp and work it out and give the results. I'll take this now. we have made it back to the base camp. We're excited. We do have a result which we're about to drop and show you what these results are. But firstly, let's recap about what we've been doing. We've gone out and purchased a Toyota LandCruiser 200 series. We've also bought the new Series 5 Nissan Patrol Y62 5.6 litre V8 petrol. We'll be putting these two vehicles head to head, towing our vans to some iconic destinations in Australia. That is coming up, so that will be on our episodes in the future. We have now done a fuel consumption test, quite a difficult one, where we've taken the vehicles from Bright, filled them up at the Bowser here in Bright, right to the brim, taken them to Harrietville, right up to the top of Mt Hotham, 1,500 metres elevation gain, and then we've turned around, come back to the Bowser, filled them up right to the brim again, and then we've got our results of how many litres per 100 kilometres they have used. Before I give you the results, hit subscribe down below because we do have some more interesting and fun content coming out in the near future of our vehicles and our off-road vans. And our next episode is something totally different, which will be really good fun to do. And I won't tell you too much about it, but we do have a current world champion involved, and that'll be coming out next. So please get on board. Let's get to the results. So firstly, yesterday we did the Ford F250 for a bit of fun to throw that into the mix, and it actually went quite well. Its results were over an average of 100 kilometres, it used 23.69 litres per 100 kilometres. Then we did these two vehicles as well. Now, we already know the results of the Toyota LandCruiser 200 series V8 diesel. That came in at 21.69 litres per 100 kilometres. And we have just got the results on the Nissan Patrol. And I must say, this is actually so much closer than what we thought it would ever be. We thought that, you know, this would use a lot more than what it did, but they are very, very close. And the results are the LandCruiser, 21.69 litres per 100 kilometres. The Nissan came in at 21.51 litres per 100 kilometres. So the winner is the Nissan Patrol Y62 Series 5 V8 petrol. I'm totally surprised at the result we got out of the Nissan Patrol. It's a 5.6 litre V8 petrol, and we thought that towing it up a huge hill, 1,500 metre elevation gain, the engine would be working a lot harder, pulling the 2.2 tonne van. That's what it weighed in when it was fully loaded up, and we thought it would just consume a lot more fuel than what it did. The Nissan Patrol drove really well. As I was settling into this on the way down the mountain, I was becoming really comfortable with it. The vision all the way around is great, you can see everything. It's a really comfortable vehicle. The motor is quite sharp, and you put your foot down and it really goes. A couple of stages going up the mountain, we actually put our foot into it because we did that on the LandCruiser as well, and we wanted to do exactly the same on the Patrol. And it just dropped a gear and kicked in, and you could really feel those kilowatts really hauling, and it actually gained speed going up the mountain. So it's a very good vehicle, really happy with it, and we can't wait to see how it will go in other tests that we have coming up in the future.